am I the one even writing anymore? Sometimes I want to write something formal, like an email or post or a pitch, but the first instinct that comes to mind is, let me ask ChatGPT. Not because I can't write, because I can, but because it's just there, it's fast, it's clean, it's well structured. And honestly, it will probably save me about 40 minutes of staring into a blank page. Especially now that no lecturer is asking me to show my working or explain how I wrote it. I think we've entered a new phase where the process really doesn't matter anymore, only the output. At least in my case, if you're a student, it's probably different for you. But here's where it gets even weird. Even when I write something myself, carefully and thoughtfully, there's always this little voice at the back of my mind saying that someone is going to think AI wrote this. And sometimes people actually do say that. Because when people see a well-written post or an article, they just assume that, oh, that's probably ChatGPT. Which honestly sucks, because I've seen how AI works, right? It learns from us, the real creatives. People putting their voice and their work online. So the better that we get, the better the AI gets. And that's awesome, but it's also kind of terrifying, right? But for me, the interesting part is education. So let's talk about education for a second. Because if you're being honest, right, formal academic writing is specifically perfect for AI. No personality, no emotion, there's structure, citations, a third-person voice, and probably rigid phrasing. And that's exactly the kind of thing ChatGPT is designed to be very good at. So the question then becomes, if this is what schools are asking for, is it really surprising that students are using AI to do it? Because if all you're testing is whether I can structure an essay and reference my sources correctly, especially in engineering, for instance, then a large language model can do that in seconds. And then what are we really assessing? I'll give myself an example. As an engineer, right, most of the time you are judged based on your actual work that you have built. But when it comes to the reporting, honestly, they just want you to follow the format. Do this, do that, write it in this format. And if you think about it, if I've actually built the product for my mind, the report, I can use AI to do it. It's not that deep. That's not where the real results or the real end product of my knowledge is. The end product is the actual product that I've built. You get what I mean? So now think about it, because if all you're testing is whether I can structure an essay and reference my sources correctly, and a large language model can do that in seconds, then what actually are we assessing? Is academic writing about thinking, or is it just about formatting our thoughts the right way? And if that's the case, are we expecting education to adapt, or we are just going to keep on acting like AI hasn't completely changed how information is accessed, organized, and presented? Because from where I'm sitting, right, the problem isn't that students are using AI. I think that the problem is that the school hasn't figured out what to do when everybody suddenly has the same advantage. So what now? What happens when every book, every article, every email, every formal sentence is touched by AI? Do we still call that writing, or we just editing now, or better still, prompting? Is creativity measured by how well you can direct a machine to do this and that? Because let's be real, the best AI writers, right, they don't just tell the AI, write this for me. They give it a structure, a tone, some examples of even their own past writing, and they tweak the results till it feels uniquely theirs. So it's not just do this for me and then they give a result. They actually tweak the prompt to be uniquely theirs. So what happens when somebody reads your writing and says that, wow, you write really well? And then you're like, do I? Or I just prompt really well? Because in my case, that's what I say. But I don't even know how I feel about this yet, honestly. I'm excited, yes, but I am also a little bit uneasy. Because one thing I know for sure is that writing has fundamentally changed. We are all trying to figure out what it means now. But let me know what you think. Especially if you use AI, sometimes do you feel like the imposter syndrome where you write, you put it out there and you feel like, it's not mine. Or you just use it unashamedly and you just put it out there. I don't know. And what do you think about the education system too? Because I feel like that's one aspect that people, I think it's going to really change. I think that, again, as I mentioned, that everybody suddenly has the same advantage. Writing at its fundamental core now is very easy for everybody. So at what level do we assess the knowledge gained? A lot of these things are things that we should consider. I'm Michelle Manuel. I know it's been a while, but I just wanted to do a think piece and put it out there. Be sure to subscribe, like, and I'll see you next time. Bye.